from GH on Facebook, on X, and then it's Z Multimedia on YouTube and TikTok. We are ready to have our interesting conversation today with Samuel Allotey. And I think I've been waiting for this conversation. As I mentioned, I'm very particular about the youth and youth developing within the tech space and also within the creative space. So this is a very interesting conversation for me. So let's welcome Sam. Samuel, you're welcome to Next Gen Connect on Z 101.9 FM, and we are happy to have you.
I'm likewise happy to be here, Oliver. Looking forward to this conversation.
Amazing. Tell us about Sam Allotey. Tell us about yourself. Who are you? What have you been up to?
Yeah, Samuel Allotey. I'm up to a lot of things, really. I mean, I do a lot of work in the creative space. I'm primarily a designer. Well, I used to be a product designer, but then now I see myself more as like an ecosystem designer where I connect the design and tech worlds together into different initiatives. So that's what I've been doing for the past number of years. I also lead Verslaaf as the creative lead. Verslaaf is a creative studio. We do work for different brands and all of that. I also have a conference called FitCon. So I do a bunch of things.
We are going to come to FitCon. I'm really interested about FitCon because I've seen the traction. I saw the event last year and it was big. And so we are going to come to FitCon. But I mean, I'm interested in the young people doing amazing stuff, especially in the creative industry and also in tech. And so tell us your plight as a young person in Ghana. Doing all this amazing stuff. How has it been? How do you find the strength among all the you know what I'm talking about. So talk to us about that.
I mean, something that a lot of people keep asking me. I just think it's because I strongly believe young people in Ghana can do a lot more. It's just that we don't have the access. And I think I've been fortunate enough to see what's possible when people have access to like some of these opportunities. And I'm glad a show like yours exists because you share opportunities for people and you just open their minds up to different things. So I've just seen what's possible, and so I'm trying my best to open that up for the next generation and my generation as well, because I'm also young, right? So I think that's what pushes me, keeps me going. It's not easy. It's never been easy. But I think once you believe in the vision, once you have the right team members around you who also believe and support the vision, it makes it worthwhile. So that's what keeps me going.
I have this controversial question, right? Are young people, I mean, look at the whole ecosystem. Are young people being given the opportunity to build in this country? I know there are like one-offs that people like you doing amazing stuff with your team, but do you think young people are actually being given the opportunity to build and build great stuff in Ghana?
I'm not, okay, let me just take it this way. So I think young people are doing amazing stuff. It's just that the spotlight hasn't been shown on them just yet, right? I mean, last year we went on a campus tour across 5 universities across Ghana. And we saw people doing amazing things. We saw people building things for agriculture. We saw people doing things for AI, the AI space, VR, like animation. We saw them doing amazing stuff, but just that people did not know about it. And so that was one of the reasons why we decided to go on these campus tours, introduce them to the tech space early on so they can focus on it a bit more. And those who are actually building cool things, just put the spotlight on them, let the world, the country see them. And so, I mean, you can argue that the opportunities aren't enough, but young people are still doing amazing things. They just need access to the right people in the right spaces.
Wow. That is profound. I have another interesting question that boggles me every day. It's infrastructure, right? Are the infrastructure, I mean, is the infrastructure we need to build available? Because I've lived in Germany for a while and I've seen shared spaces. I've seen like coding rooms. I've seen like interesting spaces that you can just go for free and build. But I come to Ghana and I'm like, where are these spaces? What should we do? What are we not getting right?
I mean, I don't think there's enough, to be honest. But I think it's much better than it was years ago.
Of course.
Yeah, but I don't think there's enough. I mean, like you're saying, it would be great if there are some like co-working spaces or like just great rooms and communities you can go to meet like-minded people who are doing the same thing as you are. I think it helps you, it drives you, it shows you that, oh, you are not crazy. I mean, in pursuing whatever it is you are pursuing, but there are other people doing the same thing. So a lot of them, those communities are coming up. There's this community called Sandbox Result. It's for people building products. Right? It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be finished. You can just come and demo it. And shout out to Google, the AI Community Center. They've opened up their space for people to use for free. So, I mean, you can go there, utilize it, host events, host community gatherings and all of that. So yeah, it's coming up. And my community as well, the Design Junkies. There's a community for people in the creative space to come meet their fellows, share what they are doing, get feedback, improve upon it, and all of that. So a lot of these are springing up. Just that it can be a lot better. Yeah,
of course. And I was coming to that conversation about what's the ecosystem, the role the ecosystem plays. So you mentioned Design Junkies, you mentioned Google. I know you've done some work with Mest Africa and so on. Tell me about the role of the ecosystem within the space of getting creative careers. I mean, it's interesting that people are creative, but I don't think the creative ecosystem is aligned such that people are getting their work sweat right now. So what is the role of the ecosystem? I mean, innovation hubs, also creative studios like what you are running, and then them, and what Google is trying to do. What is their role? Are they being done well, or there's more room for it? Tell me your opinion about these hubs.
Yeah, so I think let me speak on the creative or the design space specifically. I mean, like you said, there's always an issue of people not being paid their worth, or issues with clients and all of that. I think that's why communities like ours help, because then we can use our experience and say that based on what you're doing, this is how much you should be paid, and this is how you should approach clients and all of that. All these different communities are doing what they can, to be honest. They are doing what they can. It's just that policies do not support. I think it would be cool if we have something like for example, like a Ghana Design Alliance, where all the different design communities can come together, right? And because we sort of have control or have a say in whatever happens in the design space, it'll be easy for us to do stuff like pricing control. So nobody's underpaid. Like, you don't want to design and get 100 CDs or something.
I'm sorry to cut you, but I want this idea to come. Are we advocating for a Ghana Design Alliance right here? I think it's a conversation that we should take on, but then finish your point.
Yeah, it is. It's something we've been discussing with some other design communities as well, to see if we can put something together, because I think it will be key, because there's only so much we can do as separate communities, right? By the end of the day, we are all trying to achieve the same thing, right? So if we're able to put our minds together and do this, that would be great. At the end of the day, it's just the betterment of the ecosystem in the country.
I want to ask about building a strong team and the role a team plays in all of the things that you're doing. And you mentioned that you have an amazing team that you work with. Are young people complementing our skills and building great teams to work with? I want your general opinion, and then tell me about how you have been able to mobilize, or you've been able to mobilize a group of people that have like a similar aim and then are doing great stuff.
Yeah, I mean, team building, I think that's like the most difficult thing when running anything, not even a company. I mean, if you want to do like a small community group within your neighbor, like having people with the same mindset as you willing to push, that's like the most difficult thing. And so even large companies don't always get it right. So that's understandable. But I think what I'm good at is being able to spot young talents early, people who have potential and just need a little bit of push and direction. Right, and so that's what I try to do. I mean, in our community, the Design Junkies, a lot of the people came in as volunteers, very young, people who normally not give a chance, right? No experience whatsoever. But, I mean, you tend to see something in them and just give them an opportunity. I like to say I'm willing to be the place you come and experiment. Right, so, because I believe once you give people like creative freedom to do whatever it is they want, then they can think freely and believe in the brand, know that, whatever it is you're doing, it's not going to go through like a hierarchy. They have like a direct say. So if it goes well, they take the praise. If it doesn't, the same way, they take the bashing, right? So it's tricky, but it just takes trust, right? Believing that whoever you've brought on can do the work, right? And just giving them that room.
this is also maybe controversial, but
I like controversy.
do you think the Gen Zs are helping in this fault? Gen Z conversation and how Gen Zs are direct and they are this and they are that and they are this. Do you think it's playing any role in the way our tech ecosystem is being shaped now?
So this is an interesting one. I don't like to generalize it as Gen Zs because technically I'm a Gen Z.
Of course,
right.
I don't want to disclose my age.
Yeah, and I've worked with much younger people and like who are still in the Gen Z on their later generations. I think there's this perception about Gen Zs being a certain way and not being serious about work and everything. That's very not true, right? Of course, there are people like that, right? So you just need to be able to differentiate those who are actually serious about getting things and doing something for themselves and their lives and their careers, and finding those people supporting them. You can't always change anybody. What I like to say is that I can take a donkey to the river, but I can't make it drink, right? So we can provide as much support, as much opportunities as we can, but if you're not willing to take it out just because you're using being a Gen Z as an excuse, then it's up to you because it won't fly anywhere. So
of course. Okay, one last controversial question before before we go into what you do specifically with FitCon and then the rest. Is the general youth of Ghana ready to take on the world? I ask this question because a lot of the times one of the issues that older generations have raised that, this crop of youth are not serious, they don't take work seriously, but we also believe in ourselves that we are changing the world. In our small corner, we are trying to build interesting stuff to change the country. Do you think the average Ghanaian youth is ready to take on the world?
I've seen enough to say yes, we are.
And tell me why.
Yes, I will. So, it goes back to what I was saying, that there's a just misconception about Gen Zs not being serious and everything, just because of how certain type of people behave. But I've seen enough to know people are doing some amazing stuff. I think it's just because of how we think, and we like to think outside of the box, and just how we were brought up, the generation we were in, the technology that was available when we were growing up. We didn't have it as difficult, quote unquote, as our parents had. They didn't have access to computers to make their life easy. They couldn't just wake up and message someone living in France, right? They didn't have access to all of these things. So they have a certain way of approaching life. They believe you go to school, you get a degree, you get a job, retire, all of that, because that's what they saw. That's what successful people that they came across, that's the path they followed. But things are very different now. And so I think it's just a matter of mindset shifting, where they just need to understand that things are different now, and we understand things much better than they do. It's good. Experience is always good, but it's always good to be open to new perspectives and new ways of doing things. So I strongly believe we are, and there are so many examples of people who are Gen Zs who are doing amazing things, and even much younger doing amazing things. You just need to be more open-minded and willing to give us some of these opportunities. Amazing.
So now let's zero in a bit more on FitCon, because our topic today is finding career opportunities within the creative tech space. And I know what you're doing with FitCon and the other creative studios you're running is doing something like that. So let's zero in into it. Tell us about FitCon, what you've done over the years, what is coming, and then just give us an overview of FitCon.
Amazing. So FitCon is the flagship conference of the Design Junkies. The Design Junkies, just for quick backstory, started as a podcast, running for a few years. It was top in charts in Ghana. We grew the community, but then we realized, we didn't have the space for our community members to connect, meet people in person, expand their network, all of that. That was primarily the reason for FitCon, right? So that's how it started. It started in 2024, University of Ghana. It's a conference hall. We had 360 people attending the first edition. It was amazing. Yeah, it was incredible, to be honest, for a first ever conference organized by us. That's what led to it. We decided to do it more, annually. So last year, the second edition happened, 100 people. UG Business School.
Business School. I remember
it was incredible. That's the primary reason why we started FitCon, just open up the space for people to actually meet, connect. Because a lot of the times you want to grow in your career, it's not purely about your technical skill. It's like knowing the right people, especially
being in the right room.
In the right rooms. Yes. Just a simple conversation can lead to something, right? You never know, even if it's not instantly, some few years down the line. So that's how it's been so far. This year has becoming bigger. We are bringing someone all the way from the US. Chris Doe is like an amazing person in the creative space. It's happening December 4th and 5th. It's 2 days.
2 days.
Yeah, because a lot of people they didn't understand. It felt too short.
Very
the one
short.
day.
I mean, that's how I feel every time we have Next Gen Connect. I feel like the conversation is too short. So maybe management, if you are listening, maybe but yeah, of course, I think this is a great opportunity to connect young creatives in a room, as you were saying, to get some opportunities. But let's talk about success stories. I mean, 2024, 2025. Can you tell us about some success stories, some testimonials from FitCon?
Yeah. So, I mean, I have screenshots, a bunch of screenshots. Every time we do it, like people's testimony, I just take screenshots. One of the most memorable ones that I remember was that I think someone decided to take a break from UI UX design.
Yeah.
But then after the first edition, it was like, Charlie, I think the word you use is that, Charlie, I want to do this again. FitCon set some fire in me.
Yeah.
And those things are good because that's why we are doing it, right? So that is just one example. Another example, people getting jobs through conversations, meeting the right people in the room. A lot of things that I can't even remember at this point in time. So yeah, that's FitCon has been amazing. Those are some of the success stories that I remember. Yeah.
I know you've mentioned the dates and everything for FitCon specifically, but can you run us through the schedule for this year and specifically throw more light on your special guest that is coming this year and then the opportunities that you are hoping this will create, the kinds of collaborations that you've set? Just run us through overview of FitCon this year.
Yeah, so this year, again, like I said, 2 days. And because the whole idea for this year is to bridge the Ghanaian and African ecosystem design space to the rest of the world, right? So we want to put it on that international level so that once the world sees it and it opens up opportunities for the young people who come here so they can see, oh, these are the guys doing amazing things in Ghana. These are the guys doing amazing things in Africa. So let's try them out. Let's give them some opportunities in there. So that's the idea. In terms of schedule, we want to make it as monumental as possible. So it's not just going to be the conference. It's going to be the Mixer. We did the first edition of the Mixer last year. This year will happen again, and we are in conversation with certain partners to also open up like more cultural events, like exploring different tourist attractions, touring Accra, Ibri, Akosombo, like all these different places, right? Because once people are coming in from other countries, we want to show them the best of Ghana. Right, so those are some of the plans. We are very far out, so I'm trying to not reveal a lot.
Of course,
but then also another thing. So there's another partnership that we formed, Code and Cocktails. So they pretty much organize the biggest tech party for people in the tech space, pretty much. This year, we're partnering with them to be the official after party for FitCon. This is exclusive. We were supposed to announce it.
What is a young people event without an after party?
Yeah, we were supposed to announce it like I think in a couple of weeks or next week. But this is exclusive.
It's exclusive.
To ZFM.
Yes. So there's going to be an after party for FitCon this year that is going to be organized by
Code and Cocktails. And anyone who has been to Code and Cocktails knows how they go about it. So it's going to be amazing.
I think there's another opportunity sector that we should mention with FitCon and what you're trying to do. You mentioned when we were having a conversation earlier about some scholarships or some partnerships that exist. I mean, as this is a show that we are presenting opportunities for young people, I want you to give an overview of that also so that we can dwell on that a bit.
Yes, so I mean, again, the whole reason why the Design Junkies exists is to give opportunities to young people. And over the past few months, all of that, we've been forming partnerships with different brands. One of the ones we just announced was a partnership with Mensa Bosu Foundation, which is founded by Samuel Bosu. He's a designer based in UK. He works at Microsoft AI. I think he's a lead designer, the creative director there. So we are partnering with him to bring something called the Students Bursary. So it's pretty much giving funding to people or students pursuing creative art. So if you're students and you have interest in the creative sectors, you might not necessarily be studying anything around creative arts, but if you're doing something around the creative arts, this fund is for you. So that's one thing we've been doing. There are more opportunities lined up. We have some more partnerships. We've signed some MOUs. Again, another exclusive, but we are yet to announce those ones.
There are so many exclusives on the show today. I bet you.
I'll just wait till the announcements are done. But there are more exciting things. So just be on the lookout. Follow our channels, the Design Junkies, THEDSG and JUNKIES to see some of these opportunities. But yeah, the Mensa Bonsu Foundation one, please apply. Just go to our social media. I think it should be there. The link should be there.
Okay,
Yeah.
amazing. I mean, great conversations about FitCon, great conversation about the Mensa Bonsu Foundation, and then the scholarship scheme that you are having. I wanted us to clear this off the table, and then let's go directly into your experience as a young person building something in Ghana. We want to share this because it's important for other young people to know it is possible as a Gen Z to start a company. And I mean, Mark Zuckerberg was how many years when he started Facebook. So it is possible. The same technology, the same opportunities are available to us here. So to tell us your journey as Samuel Allotey, what sparked that thing in you that, okay, I want to start a movement that creative people can benefit from? At what point did that spark light? That you were like, I'm not going to be a usual boy. I'm just going to be someone that is going to be different in my space.
This is a long story, but I think there's times where I can share some parts of it.
Please tell us about it.
It's not like I wanted to be different. I've always been different. But I think the journey started proper right after high school. When it wasn't even right after high school, it was informal. I think the first week at Accra Academy.
Yeah.
I wanted to do science for the longest time when I was in primary school, GHS. I was always watching videos on engineering, people making cars. So I used to have this whiteboard where I sketched cars and everything. So I always wanted to do physics, like engineering, all of these different things. But then my first week in Accra Academy, the physics teacher, some teacher just walked in, and I just knew this wasn't for me. So I was like, nah, this is not something I want to pursue. Yeah. So, but at that time, I was also very interested in general knowledge, like politics, the creative space, showbiz, and all of that. So my other option was to pursue journalism, actually. Very interested. So yeah, fast forward like final year, Accra Academy. I was again back to the creative art showbiz. Yeah. I realized there were a lot of musicians on campus, right, doing amazing stuff, but everything they released was within
the campus,
and maybe just one or two schools outside of campus. I was like, I mean, there's internet. Why can't we do something great? So I just started a blog, right, and I worked with a few of them, put their music on there, we shared it across, and it went very far. Yeah. I was called Blink Media GH. Anybody, Accra Academy 2015 batch, you should know this. So yeah, I started with that. So I'm like, oh, this is cool. This is amazing. Oh yeah, we just did it for some time after high school. I just paused on it. I didn't want to go to university. So that was another thing because I knew it wasn't for me. I was supposed to be a civil engineer.
Wow.
I knew it wasn't for me.
That is very bold to say that you knew at the time that you didn't want to go to the university.
Yeah, I knew right from first week I think it's the first time I'm saying this. Right from first week in high school, I knew university wasn't for me.
Wow, that is interesting.
I was like, yeah, I want to do something else. So just to appease my dad specifically, not my family, my dad specifically, I was like, I'm going to go to high school, IPMC. Yeah. I think that's where I met Ken.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I was like, I'm just going to go to it just to please him. I wasn't really interested in it. So I think I was extremely good at IPMC.
Yeah.
That was what demotivated me from continuing because I felt like it was a waste of money. Because I could learn a lot of the things online. So I was just learning. I learned how to build websites. I think it came through the blog days from high school. Yeah. I built, at that time, iTunes. We didn't have access to Spotify like we have now. Yeah. So I built a platform like iTunes where you could buy music. Yeah. Right. I put it on my pen drive. I didn't even have a computer back then. Just my dad old desktop, put in my pen drive, walked from Circle to, I mean, it's not that far, but to Live FM and Abraka, presented to Jay Foley. Yeah, fast forward, it went well. I started working with him for some years, and then, I just started exploring the tech space a lot more.
I find this fascinating. Like, for a young boy or a young person that you knew of head that, this is not for me, and this is my path that it takes some courage, and I want to explore that more. Mm-hmm. What role did parents play? Like, I mean, what role did a mentor play? Like Jay, you said you went to Jay, and he you worked with him for a while to shape what you finally have become now. Tell me about that boldness and how opposition also is with family and how you were able to overcome that. There are so many young people that are facing that now that are not as bold as you are. So tell us how you're able to do that in that time of your life.
Yeah, I think I'm a pretty stubborn. I mean, it's already obvious, but I'm a pretty stubborn person.
Yeah.
I mean, growing up, as a child, you really don't know where to put that stubbornness.
Yeah.
So I was just generally stubborn. Yeah, I like to do my own things. Like I don't understand like boxes. Like people wanting to put other people in boxes. I still don't get that concept. Right. So I want to do this. Like I understand. I have information on why I want to do this. So like let me do it. And I think I was exposed to a lot of things early on to know that my parents' generation, they want you to do something just because that's their understanding of what success should be like.
Yeah.
But I have new information that I feel like will work for me better. Right. So, I mean, again, I was just hoping that, it's not hoping, I knew that, so this is one thing I told myself.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go to university, but within these 4 years, if the people who went to university came out and I'm still the same, then I failed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what pushed me.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah, that's what pushed me. I was like, my dad doesn't need to understand it. It doesn't matter if he understands it, but I'll make him understand it. I'll make him proud. Yeah. Right. So, and it will make sense to him. And I'm sure he's watching this. It made sense to him down the years. Because, I mean, just last year I won 40 and a 40 award. And
that's amazing. Congratulations. I was going to come to that. Yeah. And how the experience was.
I made sure to bring him for him to understand. Like, we've not really spoken about these things, but I'm sure he knows, right? So, for me, it was just a matter of making sure to prove a point and prove that this can be done, right? You don't necessarily need to be a certain way to be successful at whatever it is you want to do.
Yes. I'm coming to the last series of my questions, but we've spoken about a good team. But how important is a community to a budding, like an ambitious creative like you, right? Did you find a community here that was in tune with what you wanted to do, even at the start? And how do you encourage like young people to find such creative communities to belong to? I know you're doing amazing work, so we can point to what you're doing with Design Junkies, but generally, how should they find these creative communities? So
it's great. I mean, when I was starting, I didn't even know about design communities. There was none that existed. Maybe they existed, I just didn't know about them. Yeah. Right? Because I started this journey back in 2015, right? There was none. It was just me trying to figure out things. And eventually I came across friends who were doing the same thing. So we're just hustling together, finding clients together, all of that. There was nothing like that. It's like there was nobody you could point to and say, Charlie, I'm struggling with this thing. Can you help me out? Right? There was nothing like that. I think that's one of the things that makes me more passionate to like build a thriving community over here in Ghana. So for me, it was non-existent, but the fact that it was non-existent for me doesn't mean it should be non-existent for others. So I'm very much open to helping people so their time is cut short.
So today, if someone wants to join the community you've built, Design Junkies, how do they go about it?
Yeah, so again, just follow our channels. We open up slots eventually, but you can also go to the designjunkies.com/contact. The link to the community should be there. Or just Google the Design Junkies. If you don't know how to spell it, it will come up. And just go to the contact page and click the link. But just follow our socials. Every now and then you can just DM and then we'll send you the link or something.
So I'm going to go to my controversial question. That will be one of my last questions.
I like controversy.
Does design work in Ghana now pay? Do you think it pays? And should young people pay attention to it?
Yes, it pays quite a lot. But I think it doesn't reach a lot of people, like as many people as it should. Right. And I think it's more about like how systems are structured here, because I can easily say, it's because of experience. You have to be a certain like years of you have to have a certain years of experience or all of that. But you go to other places and people who are coming up interns get like good opportunities, gigs to start life. So it's not really about that. That's why I'm very keen on having like something like a design alliance of some sort, so that at least we have a say in how our ecosystem works instead of just leaving it to government to do something about it. Right. So it does pay, but as it stands now, you need to have a certain level of experience, and it's not even just that. Like, it's not just about the technical skill alone. You need to be a very good communicator. You You need to know how to deal with clients. You need to understand how design plays a role in business.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's not just about you designing nice visuals and all of that. If the client coming to you is coming to you for you to design something for them to make money. So if you do not see it from that angle and you are just seeing, oh, I've done some nice designs, colors, the typography is nice and everything, but it's not making them any money they want, then what you've done is cost 90. Right? So I think as designers or as human beings, you need to understand how what you're doing fits within a system. Right? For you, like what you're doing fits within a system, right?
Yeah.
So you need to understand how it plays into the larger picture. If you're able to speak that language, if you're able to speak to the client in that language and not just technical terms, then they understand you, they can easily communicate with you, they feel like you get it. Because believe it or not, a lot of people don't. Even those experienced, they don't. Right? So if you're able to do that, they will be willing to work with you because they know you have them in mind, you have them at heart, and you're willing to do more things for them to make money.
Amazing. We've been having this amazing conversation with Samuel Allotey, and this is great. You mentioned the bigger picture, and I want to ask a question about that. Are we creatives in Ghana now building for the global market? Do you think we fit in? I mean, there's a whole creative community globally that has been built or is being built. Are Ghanaian creative fitting in well? I mean, I know a lot of Ghanaian creatives that are doing well in the international market, but do you think the average Ghanaian creative is getting those opportunities or is building for the global markets?
Again, if you say average, then probably not yet. I won't say no, but not yet. But again, like you're saying, I know so many amazing creatives who are doing some amazing stuff. Banasechi, Adobe Messiah, amazing creatives doing amazing stuff. But I think the structures it makes it difficult for us, right? Especially if you are springing up.
Is there not a blueprint we can create? Like, I mean, I and people will come for me for this, but I think the Nigerians are doing great in holding each other's hands into the bigger market. Not even the creative just alone, but the music, the multimedia industry in Nigeria is built. What are we not getting right in Ghana? What are we not getting right here?
I wish I had like a straight answer.
I know.
Yeah. I know. But I think, like you're saying, Nigerians thrive on collaboration. And because they have the numbers, and Nigerians are naturally loud.
Yeah.
Not loud, but they are bold. They know how to speak to people and say the right things, even if the work doesn't match. Right? Because I've been in teams, right? Even global teams where, like, I'm one of the only Africans. And I'm like, these people can't touch me.
Yeah.
Like, in a sense, like, when it comes to the work, they are experienced and all of that. Probably have more years of experience. But when it comes to the work, when you're presenting in meetings, these people can't touch me. But just because I'm in Africa, I'm probably earning much lower than they are. Even though that works for me, probably earning much lower than they are and all of that. It's the same for that. So that's why, like, a lot of these communities exist to show people the blueprint. But because it's like scattered, fragmented
so
across.
So we are advocating for the alliance.
Exactly.
Right? For the alliance. So on that line, what should we do? Should we involve government? Should young people kind of like come together and build a movement? Like, what should we do in your space, in your bubble? How do you think we should approach this?
I think we can do a lot of things without government, to be honest, because government has a lot of things on its plate, right? They have rules to do. They have like a bunch of other pressing things to do, if you ask me. Again, if you look at the system, like if you look at Ghana as a system, one ecosystem, like government has more pressing things to do, right? So I think there are a lot more we can do, and particularly because like us within these different communities, we have a lot of experience. We've seen a lot of things. We've been exposed to a lot of things to know what can be done right and what should not be done right. So I feel like we can do a lot of things on our own. We just need to collaborate more and come up with strategies to help those coming up.
Push more, talk about what we are doing. I think Ghanaians, we are too chill sometimes.
Exactly.
We're building cool stuff, but we don't talk about, we don't make noise about it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about Verslaaf Studios.
Yep.
What is it? What are you doing now with that also? And give us an overview of that.
Yeah, so Verslaaf Studio, it's a premium creative studio that I founded. Funny enough, I think I founded it way before Junkies, but I just shelved it for a while because, again, I'm not in a rush to work with just any clients, right? So we've been fortunate enough or honored enough to work with some brands like Google, Ghana, West Africa, some brands in the UK. A bunch of different brands. We pretty much help brands uncover like their true self and position themselves right. So if it comes to design, video production, pretty much any creative thing you can think of, we have the men to run that.
Okay, so tell us about the next step. I mean, we are wrapping up the interview, but I just want to give you the platform to talk about Verslaaf, what you're doing, the next frontier, and then we can wrap up from there.
Yeah, so there are a bunch of things coming up. The Design Junkies, we are all about youth empowerment and making sure that people who are in the creative space or the tech space, they have the right mindset to approach work and have a thriving career. So we have a bunch of opportunities coming up. Again, like I mentioned, the Mensa Bonsu Foundation bursary is up. You can apply. We've signed like 2 MOUs within the past month. We are yet to announce them, all tied to running experiences for students and people in the creative space and the tech space. We also have partnership with Interaction Design Foundation, which is like one of the world's largest design learning platform.
Amazing.
So we give out free memberships to people within our community on all of that. So we have a bunch of things coming up, as well as FitCon, the main thing. So
yes,
you can, I think early bird tickets are out now. So you can go to designjunkies.com/FitCon to get your tickets. And it's going to be wow. I mean, you don't want to miss this.
Definitely, we are going to have you back before the dates for FitCon, and we are going to really do more in depth into the lineup and what's going to happen before that. And so we are very excited and we are very thankful for you, Samuel, for coming through. I mean, I know we are going to work more in the coming weeks. I mean, we've spoken about a lot of things backdoor. I know we are going to work more. And so thank you so much for coming to the Next Gen Connect show on Z. I don't know if you have any last words before we go.
I think that should be it. For anyone who out there who wants to pursue anything, not even in creative or tech space, but wants to pursue anything but isn't sure, what I'll tell you, just take the first step. You figure the rest out. Yeah, don't be shy. Forget everybody like medical house. Take the first step. Give it your best shot. If it doesn't work out, you learn from it. There's something like failure, right? But you won't learn anything if you don't try it. So that's all I say. Thank you for having me, Oliver.
Amazing. Young people out there, thank you for joining Next Gen Connect on Z101.9 FM. We are always happy to bring you opportunities. We are always happy to host you. Join us same time next week for an amazing conversation. Next week is going to come with more opportunities. We are going to have an interesting conversation with a brilliant lady that I won't tell you about now. So keep it logged on Next Gen Connect. Join us on our AfriVenture Tech Fridays every last Friday of the month. That was a big event last month. We had it at the University of Ghana Business School, and if you missed it, go online and check out on that. Finally, we are going to have that also next month. I mean, this month, last Friday of the month, and so look out for information on that. Next on Z is Highway 1019 with Richard Sticks, and we are out.